Good morning, Anambra, right here on ABS TV. And today we'll be looking at 2022 World Population Day. This is on the 11th, started 1990. But it was in 1989 that the United Nations looks at the world population that was about 5 issues that affect. We know the population day. The department of Baton Good morning and well. All right. Let's start with you, Chika. You know this, it's 1990. It was 5 billion. Is it or reduce?
Population, then it becomes an asset. So the critical issue is, of course, population will not only grow over births. The system, population grows by the number of deaths of births. And as improved, as the healthcare systems and so on are improved, people survive more. So more live births are given, people live longer, and then, so naturally population should grow. But the critical thing is, how do we manage this population, the resources to sustain this population?
Okay, we still get to that when we talk about how we can manage our resources to actually get to all people involved in this, about the women, especially those in the childbearing age and all that. But then the main of this day is to raise awareness of the negative impact has had on the state development of the world. Let me not just use it because we're talking about World Population Day. So I would like us to point some of this negative impacts.
Okay, thank you, Chidima. Well, let me start by agreeing with Prof. That Nigeria is not overpopulated. In the first place, since 1968, when Paul Ehrlich wrote his atrocious and misleading book, The Population Bomb, people everywhere were afraid of overpopulation. But the fact, shows that the world has never been overpopulated and will never be. If you follow the statistics, in 1970, there was a steep decline of the population rate. Then it was 2.05. Then you come to 2018, it was 1.12% decrease. 2 years ago, it was 1.05 decrease. So there is steady decline of population. One of the agencies of the United Nations Population Information Network, in the analysis, stated that the population will grow, and then in about 2050, level. And from that point, it will begin to decline. It will begin to decline. Now, if you look at the situation of Europe now, it tells you that the population is not growing. There is, the fertility rate there is below replacement level in Europe. A population needs about 2.1 to replace itself. But no place in Europe where you can find, that population. Most of them are under replacement level. So now, population, as we know, is strength. Population is power. Population is not negative. Population is positive. You mentioned China in your introductory remarks. China has a population of 1.4 billion. It was actually the population of China that made them, that was the key thing that made them, a world economic power. If you in the ranking of world best economies, China is second. India is over 1.3 billion. India is ranked the 6th best economy. So I think, like he said, population is strength, population is power. And we should not be afraid or trouble ourselves so much with population. Rather, we should find a way to increase our fertility rate, which is dropping. From the analysis, Nigeria is 5.4, even though that number is doubtful. Because you hardly see families that are giving birth to more than, to 5 children now. Some people have internalized that wrong and misleading teaching that there is overpopulation. So, we don't have any issue about overpopulation at all. In a few cities, like in Nigeria here, if you go to Lagos or Kano, they have high population. That doesn't mean, that everywhere in Nigeria is overpopulated. You go to the villages, they are empty. That one has gone to a beehive, to see bees, a lot of bees. That person should not say that the world is full of bees.
Okay. All right, let's come back to you, Prof. Now, we have ascertained that there is nothing like overpopulation. In fact, it's a blessing, just like we earlier said. But then, when this population cannot be managed well, maybe by the leaders or the people, the stakeholders, when it cannot be managed well, we have a problem. So how do we handle it? Because we keep on talking about we are not overpopulated in Nigeria. Yeah, I agree with that. But then when it's not well managed, because that is the situation on ground now.
Yeah, of course. When it's not well managed, it becomes a problem.
Yes.
Yeah, it becomes a big problem. That is why we said we're looking at the quality of the population. Okay. So the critical thing is that governance should be about producing quality people. It should be about educating people, make sure that members, the population, they are skilled. It is having a production. Now, the critical issue, Jeff mentioned the issue of Europe. There's a problem with Europe because the critical population is going down. That is, the critical productive population is going down. Most of those populations are called aging population because they are top heavy. Nigeria is blessed because we are middle heavy. That means we have more of the young people than the older ones. We have more of the younger ones. And it means that if Nigeria gets it right, it becomes a world power, a world economic power, because we have the productive, the population that will be productive and generate more in the economy. So the critical thing is, when government doesn't get it right, government should be forced to get it right, because we have been saddled with government. That's the present social contract. We are saddled with government. And therefore, we must have a way to get government to get it right. If it's in a democracy, if you feel government is not getting it right, rise up and get the government that will get it right. And that is why we will encourage the youths. It is your country. Everywhere it is your country. Decide what happens. So, if you don't like what is happening, get involved. And make sure that you have a government that works on getting quality population. The population should be qualitative.
Okay, let's also look at the theme of this year's celebration. It says, a world of 8 billion towards a resilient future for all, harnessing opportunities and ensuring rights and choices for all. And we know that one of the problem or one of the challenges we are facing today is that a whole lot of people are being marginalized. Some people, they are not being accorded the rights that they deserve. And then, as this theme suggests, that there are 8 billion people living today, but not all of them have equal rights and opportunities. So how should we use this day, this day that we are commemorating World Population Day, to make sure that people are accorded their rights?
Okay. Well, it all goes back to what we've been talking about, good governance. You know, if we have good governance in place, the government will respect the rights of the people and provide them with all their entitlements. Like the issue of authentic economic development. If the government can go to the rural communities and do what they are supposed to do there, like in our country, we know that most of our people are farmers in the rural communities. If the government can go there and improve on agriculture, give them modern agricultural techniques and storage facilities, improve on the roads, give clean drinking water, electricity, and the rest of them, you will discover that, living in the rural communities will be more attractive. And the people will stay there instead of coming to, overcrowd small cities that we have. So the key thing is good governance. If we are able to, get it right at the government level, then every other thing will key in.
Just like in Nigeria, because we are now bringing it down to our own nation, it's all about good governance. Now, as the citizens, as members of the society, how do we now ensure good governance in Nigeria? Because, of course, at the end of the day, it's us that are being governed that all these things affect. Most of these challenges, we are the people passing through it. So how do we ensure that we entrench good governance in our country?
Yeah, you entrench good governance by holding government to account. Yes, by ensuring accountability. By realizing, first of all, that you hire the people in government, they don't hire you. In Nigeria, it appears like those in government are your guys. In truth, they are our servants. So, they are, because we hire them to serve us. Okay? So, we give them the mandate. The social contract is that we surrendered our power to them so that they will serve us. And therefore, we should hold them to account. This power we surrendered to you, this mandate we gave to you, what have you done with it? And if we feel you're not doing the right thing, we have a right to say, come out. Let another person go and try. So it's the question of the civic responsibility. All right? So every citizen should be aware of that civic responsibility. One, you have a right to participate in, like Nigeria is a democracy, you have a right to participate. You have not just a right, it is an obligation for you to participate in the democratic process of choosing leader, of choosing those in government. And also, you have a right to ask questions, how your resources are being managed. And then you have a right to request that if somebody is not managing it well, then and further than that...
I like being realistic.
Yes.
How do we do that in Nigeria right now?
How do you do that?
Yes.
Fortunately, there are elections every 4 years.
Okay.
That is one. Mm-hmm. So make sure, so every eligible voter should first of all make sure you have your permanent voter's card. Mm-hmm. That is your authorization to vote. Make sure you have it, and make sure you come out and vote. Participate in the electoral process. We must not all be politicians, but it is foolish for anybody to say, no, I don't like politics. Let politicians play, because the decisions of these politicians govern your life. So you must be interested. If they take foolish decisions, it will affect your life. So you must be interested in the political process and the government process. And do not vote because of sentiment. Vote because of perceived competence. Don't say this is my brother or this is my sister or he once gave me 10 naira and therefore I will vote for him or her. That is not the issue. The issue is the position this person is going to. Will the person have positive impact on the society? What are his plans or her plans? what do they plan to do with that power when they get it? So we should query these critical issues and then vote in accordance with our convictions. And then even when they are there, we from time to time ask them, hold them to account. That is the truth.
Okay, this, we are not using the word overpopulation again, but let's use the increasing population. Let's use the word increasing population actually sheds light on health of women, especially those in their productive age and all that. So we notice that most times some of them are not being taken care of well, and we have a whole lot of mortality rate and all that. So with this day that we are celebrating, how do we also help to see that women are well taken care of, especially those people that are of the childbearing age? And then I know that we've blamed the government, we've given the whole responsibility or heaped it on the government that they're supposed to do this, they're supposed to do that. Yeah, I agree with that, but what about other people, the stakeholders in the society? When sometimes it seems that the government can't even do it alone. We need to help ourselves. So how do other stakeholders come in?
Okay, well, first of all, I will still mention the need for governments to play their key role to provide the infrastructures. You talked about health. It is the duty of government to provide this. There are other institutions that can help, like in our state. We have mission hospitals, that complement what the government do and the rest of them. But the responsibility squarely falls on that of the government. Then about the mortality, you talked about mortality. You mean maternal mortality? Maternal mortality? And what did you say about that?
That most time, because some of these women, like if they go to the clinic or they don't even have access.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Okay. You see, the problem we have is that primary health centers are not equipped. You go there, you hardly find even antibiotics. You hardly find skilled birth attendants. On the contrary, what you find in most of them are contraceptives. And contraceptives do not, help maternal mortality. It doesn't help to reduce it. And even abortion that, some people campaign for. Because we know quite well that societies saturated with contraception, like America, has one reduce it. So that where you have low maternal mortality, like if you come to Africa now, is Mauritius. Mauritius has the lowest maternal mortality. Abortion there is highly restricted in Mauritius. You go to Poland. Poland has the lowest, about 2 mortality, per 100,000 beds. In Poland, the same story. Abortion is not, legalized. They are on demand. So what we need to do is to use the opportunity by this authentic information that reduces maternal is providing health facilities. Building hospitals, clinics, primary health centers, and providing women, with or women who desire to have, to check their birth, to have what is called natural family planning. Natural family planning, not artificial, because it destroys them. Oh yes, it destroys them. You are surprised? Oh yeah, contraceptives, most of the contraceptives are abortifacients. They cause abortion.
Okay.
And they have serious side effects, including migraine, bleeding, and all sorts of, even predisposing women to cancer. Yes. Contraceptives like Depo-Provera, it can predispose women to cancer. So the best way to go is to embrace natural family planning, like Billings method, which has been adjudged to be 99.8% effective. There is no contraceptive in the world that can compare with that. So all we need is for government to disregard this campaign for contraceptives and then embrace natural family. It is very easy to learn. Whether you are easy to learn. And we have people partner with some churches, train others in various communities.
If I may just come in a little bit there.
Yeah, I want to add something before you now comment on that. Now, when you are talking, when you want to say something about the family planning, right? Now, again, what should be the role of families, parents? Because most people, they actually want to give birth to a number of children that they can take care of, and most times they are just like you said that these artificial contraceptive or family planning, that it hampers the health of women. So what should they do? Like people that want to, and looking at the economic situation of the country now, you see that you have 2 or 3 and you are okay so that you can take care of them. So I want you to actually put that in consideration when you are commenting.
Okay. Yeah, I think that, it calls for responsible parenthood. Okay, there is what's called, responsible parenthood. One is that we don't need to overexpose our women to risks. Like he has mentioned, some of these artificial contraceptives are ultimately dangerous. They are ultimately harmful. But there are natural methods, so it calls for understanding between the man and the woman. That's a responsible parenthood. Well, some of our people, like some men feel, no, it's not my responsibility. It is her duty. If she gets pregnant, that's her responsibility. But it's a joint responsibility. So it means that the two of them should go for that advice, should go for that counseling, and then study the method and know how to use it. That responsible, for the Billings method to work, it is both man and woman that work together and understand their rhythm and then flow with it. That's why I talked about responsible parenthood. And then, I just recall when we were in the commission, one company came took us to a retreat, and they were campaigning. They said for us to advise government that there is a contraceptive use gap in Nigeria.
Okay, please hold yourself over. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
From Zamfara. Okay.
On the head. Our management. But I always professor.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know my system of government together. Like in that court, it is not down the side, not the support. People that is located in go India and also build this. So that's my point.
Okay. Ihe na-akọwa bụ that onye ọbụla vote na ọbakwa ebe a all the same thing onye nke ọzọ pụapụ na-eme ka o mekwa.
Like now, I say example, like from Ebenezer.
All right. Go ahead, we are listening.
So I don't know. That is not the best.
So Kenzie Hagewan suggests the best thing to do.
That's not the best. So I don't know when I like somebody like me that let's go to do something for us. Let me try for you.
I had an also one in
And they not do that. That's my point.
Okay. All right.
Well, if I'm one, I say now. If internet I would on this weekend, and I did Zimbabwe log. The fact that you vote people and they disappoint doesn't mean you now give up. You continue because you keep on trying, keep on looking for better people, and by the grace of God, you get somebody who will do it right. If you stop striving, the moment you stop striving, then you've given up. So we must continue to strive.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, shalom. What's your name? Shalom.
Keda Fagi. Tochukwu Gabaniru.
Even Nigeria, Lebanon, why you work here? Obodo Britain, nobody one over Portugal. I'm on a mobile line. Only of them did it that line. They were and professors. Manobo, which were doing okay, like time of educated with the professors.
Okay, Odiki Mari Haine Kumakia, Ihaine Akawa Makiabu 2022 World Population Day. Ayade Kumaka professorship, Mobutu Sewete professorship, Biko Aina Babaka, the 2022 World Population Day. So over to you, Prof.
Yes. Yeah, so the company came and said we should advise government that there is a contraceptive use deficit, that we should, they need more contraceptives. And we told them no. That what we need, that our population is okay with, we are okay with our population. That what we need is help to make the population qualitative. That we are looking at improving the quality of the population. That's how that our population policy should get towards improving the quality of the population through education, through good health, through providing amenities, opportunities and amenities for people to aspire to be the best and actually get to be the best. That if we have such, then the population will become productive and will drive the whole system.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please reduce the volume on your TV set.
Okay. Let me go.
Better.
I said she's George Mogo.
Okay.
From
all right, George, go ahead.
In my own opinion, Obaka, one and the natural Amarat. Now, what's the way? Now, one and the natural Amarat. Ivara manage. Nigeria rock China. That's my thing.
Odima. Dalurinne.
It's right.
Yes.
Even China in 2016 reversed the one-child policy to 2 children. Why do you think China did that? Because they discovered over time that population is strength. So they reversed it. We are just 200 and something and we are talking about overpopulation. The world, the land surface of the earth is 510 million square kilometers. Out of that, not more than occupied by human beings. So you can see the world is limited. So we shouldn't, they shouldn't be telling us that that the world is overpopulated.
Yeah, we have decided not to use the word overpopulation.
Yes. And sorry, even in terms of resources, there are abundant resources in this world. We have abundant resources. It's only for us to use it in a sustainable way. Know how to use it and use it in a sustainable way.
All right, we are going to continue with our discussion right here in the studio, but let's know what the people out there have to say, their opinion on the 2022 World Population Day.
reorientation, orientation to actually sensitize them on how to, more especially families, bets, if families can control the rates in which they give birth, I think it will be of help. It will actually add to all these things, because at the moment there is a mess. The economy is seriously being affected. People are suffering. There's a lot of things going out there. People are not finding it easy. So I think families should control their rates in which they give birth to children. The federal government know what to do in collaboration with the National Population Commission. They know what to do. There are many experts there. There are some of them that read statistics. They know what to do.
The data of population of citizens of this country are not well secured, or they are not well arranged during the time of census. So I would advise that whenever this kind of thing is to be done, it must be done digitally. I'm suggesting that all this maybe census and to getting the population of people in this country must be done at every maybe five years. 5 years. Let's put it 5 years. Every 5 years we try as much as possible to see if we can embark on this census.
Population is such a unique thing in the world. We got birth rate and death rate. In the context of Nigeria, or the world, so to say, we need sanitization and mobilization for people to know. We need to orient people. It's not everybody you come to now that would like to come out and want to be counted, maybe when it comes to census and whatever. So what we need in those areas is sensitization and mobilization with orientation. When you teach people, this is a computer age. The more we learn, the more we make things work. And government on its side have to do a lot of things to make sure the population goes accurately, and that will reduce the suffering of the masses.
To be able to get the actual fact on the number of and those that are dying, there is a need. Government needs to do what we call the restructuring and devolve powers to the local governments. You understand me? Over centralization of powers at the center. You give more power to local governments from the bottom top to governance. The local government generate data and upload it straight. This is a global village. We are now in a world, digital world. You understand me? From the local government, once a child is born, bam, it is registered on national database. It is reflected without sending people from Abuja to come here and start wasting our national resources. The local government should be revalidated and given more powers to get this data on the spot and sent to the federal government. That is the only way to be able to know the exact number of people in Nigeria born, living. Thank you.
You're welcome back to the show. It's still Good Morning, Anambra. We've heard what the people say about world population. In fact, I have a contrary opinion to what we're discussing right here in the studio, because all of them believe, most of them actually believe, that we are overpopulated. And that's the problem. So even the first speaker said something about, telling sensitizing the families on the need for them to, have a number of children that they can actually take care of, not now breeding like 10 or 15 of them, and at the end of the day, you can't even take care of up to 5 of them. So they still believe that we are overpopulated. So now it boils down to the role families have to play in actually seeing how they, give birth to children and taking care of children. Because at the end of the day, if you bring someone to life, you're expected to take care of the feeding, the education, everything until the person gets of age to start taking care of him or herself.
Yes, that's why we talked of responsible parenthood. That parents bear responsibility. Not that the children you are bringing to the world, you bear them a responsibility of making them qualitative members, productive members of the society. So that should regulate the number of children one should. But it's not something that should be regulated by fiat from above, like saying everybody have to only two or have only four. It is for the husband and wife to look at their circumstances and decide, well, I think we can handle 3 perfectly well, or maybe just we need only 1, or we can go 7. It depends on their circumstances. But the important thing is that they, as parents, know that parents bear a responsibility to any child they have brought into the world.
Okay. Let's go back to Ibarista. Somebody also mentioned over-centralization, that is a problem of Nigeria, not overpopulation. That was the word he used, saying that he thinks that the problem is that there is more like power, like in the federal level, that they need to devolve powers to the state level, local government level, so that they can be able to cater for the needs of the people in each level. So what's your thought on that?
Well, I agree with him that there is a very high concentration of power at the center. It should be decentralized. There should be subsidiarity. What the local government can do, the state should not interfere. What the state can do very well, the federal government should not interfere. So there should be subsidiarity, in governance. That will help a great deal. And again, the issue of good governance, electing people who can really drive, the...
Okay, sorry about that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Arinze from Monica.
Arinze, go ahead.
Well, let me say congratulations for 2022 World Population Day.
Okay. Are you congratulating us?
Yes, all of us.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes. The speakers, in fact, they spoke well, and let me say that the problem is poverty. If the federal government can be able to tackle poverty, then like they said, we are not overpopulated. It's only that the population has been increased. But our problem, the greatest force that we are witnessing is poverty. Once the poverty issue has been solved, then everybody needs to enjoy the resources. Then the power, there should be a devolution of power from central to state to local government. All hands should be on deck. Then we can now drink from the fountain of democracy, which we all have established. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Arinze.
Okay, so that's about the power, centralization of power. Again, I would like to chip in something about the issue of responsible parenthood. You see, what actually makes a person a parent is actual parenting of the children. Being a biological mother or father does not automatically confer on one the status of a parent, because parents are the primary educators of their children, and the school and the family is the first school of all basic virtues. You talk about the virtue of hard work, patience, tolerance, solidarity, and the rest of them. It is in the family that these are learned. That's why the government should support families, empower families. If there are women who choose to be housewives, those women should be supported to learn skills which they can, do in their homes to make a living. It is very important. And then I want to use this opportunity to call on the Anambra state government to look into this national health insurance policy, to review it.
National health?
No, sorry, the Anambra State health insurance policy. Yeah. Under the scheme, there is a limit placed on the number of children that can be covered under that scheme. 4 children. That is not good for the family. That is not fair for the family. Because there are families that have 6 children, 7 children. Parents have government should do something to accommodate all the members of a family. Not, some. Because family is the school where these children are raised to become responsible citizens.
But don't you think that it should be too much of a burden on the government when we talk about, in a family, we are talking about the father, the mother, and then 7 other children?
Yes, because those children are assets. They are not liabilities. If we train them well, bearing in mind that parents should embrace responsible parenthood, but that doesn't mean that government should not, take up their responsibilities. So government should take up their responsibilities, and then we parents on their own part should also embrace responsible parenthood after all the considerations.
If I should come in here.
Okay.
The number 4 was actually informed by, some UNDP recommendation based on whatever statistics they have that when that guided, there was a time Nigeria attempted population reduction policy saying you only a maximum of 4 for every. That was the policy that informed. It was the wrong policy. Now, why we should not put a limit is that on a balance, on the average, there are families that have 1, some have 2, some have 3, some have 5. So on a balance, it balances to that 4, or even less. If we look at the childbirth rate in Anambra State, I don't think it is more than 4.
It's reducing.
I don't think it's more than 4.
It's declining.
So there is no point placing that limit of 4. But again, just as we said, it is the issue of responsible parenthood. If we look at the issue of education, look at the issue of health and so on, let's look at education. Government is disappearing at the nursery school level. Is on the nursery school level, the preschool level is taken over by private, individuals. Even the primary school, it is getting to that. Government primary schools are gradually disappearing. So there is the point is that government must sit up and bear its responsibility. The private sector will play its own part, but there must be a part played by government. And then the policy, specifically on the issue of the policy of the health insurance policy, I think it is misdirected or misadvised to place the seal on 4.
Okay. Now, if you look at our topic, we are talking about how possible is it to build a resilient future. Now, we've ascertained that in a country like Nigeria, that we have more of youths now in our country. So, as we are rounding up, how do we now engage the youths maximally so that they will be, because we are saying that the increasing population should be a blessing to us as a nation. So how do we engage these youths? Probably through skill acquisitions or giving them, employing some of them that are employable, and then seeing that how they can help to build a better nation.
Okay, you've just mentioned skill acquisition, which is excellent. One of the things that made China world economic power is skill-based. They built a skill-based economy. Years ago, Apple had to look for thousands of engineers, and they found them in China. Just last month, I heard, that Apple is now looking for software engineers, and they went to China again. So if we can engage our youths, give them skills, that will go a long way towards building, a resilient society. And I also want to commend the governor of the state, because he has just rolled out his plans and invited applications from youths who desire to be trained in different skills. I commend the government of Soludo for doing that. And our hope is that the scale acquisition, will be something that will be sustained.
So in other words, it's possible to build a resilient future.
Yes.
All right. Well, on that note, we want to say a very big thank you to you, Professor Chikabo, for joining us on the show this morning.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And also to you, Barrister Chizoba Nnabu. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you, Chidimma.
Well, that's it on the show this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chidimma Orangwa. See you again tomorrow. Bye.